on a Tinder date.
Okay.
We're hitting it off. It's amazing. Obviously, I'm charming and
Sure.
doing all the things you do when you take someone to Applebee's.
Nice spot.
So we're chatting, and 100% we're going to go back to her place and make love. Like, it's a guarantee.
That's adorable.
Thank you. Yeah. It's going to happen. And she says, but there's one thing I have to tell you before we do this. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, and it's because it's on my mind, and it always is on my mind before I get intimate and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, yeah, amazing.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, I had sex with my cousin once.
And how hard did you get?
Oh.
Because that's when you know it's a sure thing.
I know you think that's a joke. That would turn me on.
Also, why did she feel? Is it sexually transmitted? Just cousin fucking? She's like, I gotta let you know.
It's like,
It's like being bit by a vampire.
Yeah. I have no clue, like everything was going good. Like, I mean, you don't need to use that card, like it's, and so it was sort of, yeah.
Wait. Before we get to it, we have a question from the audience.
a question from the. Oh yeah. We're like Sally, Jesse, Raphael.
Did you guys?
Wait. Somebody could bring her.
Did you guys end up going back to your house after, or her house?
Her house.
It came up.
And you slept with her.
Well, this is the thing. So in that moment when she was like, I want to tell you this, I slept with my cousin, and I aired my dirty laundry, which was not that.
You made love on your dirty laundry? It's so hot.
It is Toronto. I do live in a closet. It's so.
For that rush.
Yeah. But in that moment when she said it, half my brain said, that's gross.
Uh-huh.
But the other half's like, she's hot enough to look past that. And then we went back to her house and made awesome love.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Her cousin was her roommate.
Process went somewhere else. Like, maybe that was her get out of jail card. Like, if I say I slept with my cousin.
Oh, right, yeah.
Then I got dinner and I don't have to sleep with him.
Some places that's a go to jail card.
That's been probably used before, but in that particular incident...
You passed the vibe check.
Yeah, like... and it was the weirdest thing.
Could you imagine your cousin said that to you? You passed the vibe check.
And you know what was crazy? She slept with them. They were both at a wedding. And her excuse was, and no judging, sleep whatever family member you want to sleep with, was that her family was so big, it was not unusual to not know who your cousin was. And they just hit it off, and yeah, the sparks flew. And it was only the next day when her mom was like, oh, you were out with this person. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, you do know that that's your cousin, right? And
Do they not? They don't do
I'm
the.
like, I'm in. We're going to...
Is she small town? Or is she cultural background where it's usually okay to connect with your cousin?
She's asking, black or white?
I think church needs to move in a little closer.
No. If I have a technique.
Or get her a mic.
No, if I do this and then turn it up, it comes up. So
Sleeping with your cousin, though, at a wedding is a great reason to keep your wedding small. Like, if ever you wanted to...
Wow.
She didn't do the wedding talk? Like, you talk to somebody at a wedding, you're like, oh, what side are you here for?
That's
There's only 3 questions you need to ask to figure out if this is your cousin.
Well, I mean, you always do the conga line at the wedding. You don't know whose hips you might be touching. I mean, then you got a little drinks.
That's
Two
very-
drinks in you.
Very Spanish of you.
Latino weddings do that.
I mean, one of the... I
corny
guess,
as fuck sometimes. Yeah.
the only out is that we all know how much booze you drink at a wedding, and it's sort of...
Yeah.
You could get foggy glasses
But
at some point.
I get what Ian is insinuating. Is she's at a wedding. I think she made an active effort to not ask any questions, because anybody knows if you're at a wedding and you hit it off with somebody, you have to at least ask one older person, who is this person? Or you ask them, how do you know? So the fact that she never asked meant she was like, I want this so bad. I'd rather not know. It was what is Schrodinger's cat, whatever. Like if you don't open that cousin
Schrodinger's
box,
cousin.
yeah, Schrodinger's cousin.
And we only lasted like 3 weeks, and then she told me she's in
You
love with her
dated
cousin.
a cousin fucker for 3 weeks.
Yeah, well, that's the moral dilemma. That's how weak I am.
Did you meet her family?
Yeah, she did when she introduced me. That was my ex-boyfriend. I wouldn't that suck though if you do hook up with a family like a cousin?
Yeah.
And like the next morning, her makeup rubs off, and she looks like a lot like you.
Yeah.
Like it's just you, but as like a woman.
Yeah.
I was at a bachelor party where the stripper that was bought for the groom.
Rented. You
That's
don't
right.
you don't own her forever.
I apologize.
Yeah.
Rented for the groom.
Yeah.
Just coincidence looked like his wife.
Really?
Yeah, like
That's nice, though.
I mean, not really.
Yeah.
No, if I was to get a stripper at my wedding, it'd be like my wife themed.
Yeah.
But you sort of this is your last night of being unfaithful. Like you don't want to sleep with your wife's look like. You want something different. I feel,
But it's not your wife. That's the.
but it looks like her.
Did you guys ever hear the story about the girl who ended up blowing her dad?
Ew.
And her
We've all heard that story. Variations of that story.
Yeah, but
And the wedding was called off. You should look it up and like split screen it to your thing. It was pretty crazy. So there's this like place. It's like one of those like LS kind of spots or something like that. And the night before, like the wedding, she went to the place with her bachelorette or whatever. Now they have like those kind of like glory hole things like that you see on like those porn sites kind of thing where like maybe one girl is like
Oh, so her dad went to go fuck a glory hole.
so her dad,
And it was her mouth on the receiving end, his daughter.
And then you have the option to see if you want to see who you're with after.
What is
so
going
instead
on?
of not seeing, she decided to see, and when she looked up, it was her dad.
Wow.
So her wedding got
So she
canceled.
blew her dad. Do you think she asked herself like, oh, so that's what I taste like?
That is
That's what me and all my siblings taste like.
Also, the father of the bride, right before the wedding, is going to glory holes.
Yeah.
This is a trash family.
it's a trash family. It's all a trash family.
You know, his wife, he got head from his daughter, and then the wedding got canceled.
That's amazing.
That's what you get for being trash. That is karma. That's God.